Hi guys, welcome back to Harry Makes Up. Today I'm going to do a very stripped back look, really beautiful, gorgeous natural skin. And I think for me this looks kind of inspired by the idea of the English rose. So for me I think of that as being a really lovely flush cheek, just very neutral on the lips, and pretty and kind of glowy within the skin and the look in general. And it's also a really great kind of in between a no makeup to kind of nice day makeup. So it's a really versatile look that can be adapted to suit all skin tones. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the look. So the first product I'm going to use, guys, is by Charlotte Tilbury, and it's the Wonder Glow, which I really like, especially if I'm doing sort of anything with a bit of glow. This just gives a nice bit of kind of youth boosting. It's really hydrating, and it just makes the skin have that really lovely glow from within. So next product I'm going to go in with, guys, is by Burberry. It's their Fresh Glow BB Cream, and I'm using the shade Medium. Really loving this, actually. I think especially if you like a kind of no makeup look, this is a beautiful product. And again, it's all about the glow. It's about looking like real skin, but also getting that hydration for winter. So I'm taking a Bold Metals Real Techniques blush brush, and I'm actually going to use it as a foundation brush because I find this buffs in really well. And I'm just starting in the centre of the face, just working outwards a little bit, and then I can also do any kind of pinpoint concealing that I need to do afterwards. So next product I'm going to use on the eyelids, I'm going to take a bit of the Benefit Stay Don't Stray. This does come in a darker shade as well, so this is light to medium, and I really like this just to not only add like a base to the eyes, but also just to kind of counteract any darkness. So if you close for me, just applying it to the eyelid, I just start with a little bit on the centre, and I'm just using a Sigma buffing brush. And I'm just taking that all over the eyelid. So for brows, I'm going to move on to my Anastasia brow palette. Love this, I think this is such a good makeup artist palette. And I'm going to use a mix of taupe and soft brown. So just mixing those shades on a little MAC 266 brush. And if I turn you to me, darling, I'm actually just going to give the brows a little groom first. Just using a spoolie or a mascara wand. And I've got gorgeous, thick, fluffy brows. So we're going to work with those even more. Going to fill them in a little bit where the gaps are and just fluff them out a little bit more and just give a little bit more elongation. But I want to keep the natural shape. I think that's a really nice feature of kind of the English rose look, is like a natural full brow. And then just turn your brush sideways as you kind of create little strokes. So now we've got our nice full brow back. I'm going to go in and do a little bit on the eyes, but the whole point of this makeup is keeping it really soft and it's very classic. So the kind of colours you're going to need for this look, you could use eyeshadows by any brand, but I'm just going to use some MAC ones, and generally you can kind of see the colour palette I'm working with is kind of like neutral browns, so just something that's, think of kind of tonal colours, browns, mushrooms, those kind of things. And I've got charcoal brown and mystery here by MAC, which I'm going to work with first. So I've got some MAC 217s and I'm just going in with charcoal brown, so it's a colour similar to this tone. And I'm just going to wash that over the lid for a little light wash. Can you close your window? And I'm going to keep it near the base of the lash line. And just blend it up slightly. And on the outer corner I'm just making it a little bit deeper. And then taking another clean MAC 217 and just buffing it out slightly. It's the kind of makeup you can apply quite quickly and quite easily. You're not going to do any kind of really neat line or anything like that. So it's a nice easy look. And you just want your shape to kind of blend outwards to nothing, so you don't need to kind of round it off too much or make it too pointy. You just want it to wash out to kind of a really clean blend. Then I'm going to go back to the brow brush and I'm going to go in with the darkest colour now, so something like Mystery from MAC, and I'm just going to push that into the lash line. So again, it's nice because you're not having to worry about kind of liquid liners or anything like that. But if you close me down, so you again just lifting the brow a bit, and we're just going to add depth to the lash line, so you can just literally press it in like a marker. So even if you have something like a flat angle brush, just push it all the way along the lid, and I'm going towards the end, thickening up a little bit on the outer part of the eye, and again just kind of flicking it upwards a little bit so that the shadow does kind of blend in. And then with what's left on the brush, if you just look up for me down, I'm going to take a tiny bit of that into the bottom lashes, but literally just what's left on the brush, so it's not too contoured underneath. So again, if you're not as blessed as Janet and you don't have as amazing lash curlers, oh, something just went in my office, then just use an eyelash curler and just give the eyes a nice bit of lift, especially if you're doing a natural makeup look. It really makes the difference. And I'm going to add a coat of mascara. I'm going to use some of the, this is the Hypno Star by Lancome, which is really nice because it's kind of got like a tapered wand, so it's good for getting right into the little lashes as well. So I turn you that way down, you look right down for me. And again, keeping most of the kind of concentration of the mascara at the roots and just working upwards. And mascara always makes the difference, so don't be afraid to go a little bit heavy with mascara if you want that little bit more definition. And then for the bottom lashes, I'm just going to take some excess mascara off on a tissue first, just so it's not too clumpy. If you look up for me, darling. And again, I'm just kind of concentrating it more on the outer corner. So I'm going to use this concealer by Delilah, which I've really been enjoying using at the minute, guys. It's called Fade Away Future Resist Concealer, and I'm using the shade Stone. So you just click it upwards, and if you look up for me, darling. It's got a nice sort of like yellowy undertone, so I find it's really, really brightening, and it really gets rid of kind of any darkness under the eyes. And it still really counteracts redness as well. So I'm just going to take another kind of buffing brush by MAC, and I'm just going to buff that in just to brighten under the eye area. So that's just going to give a really nice highlight and sculpt in a very natural way. So I'm just using that to kind of lift on the outer part of the face. So I'm going to take a little bit of the Armani concealer. This is the High Precision Retouch, and I'm just going to use this on any blemishes, as it's really good for like pinpointing. So I'm just going to use that, and then again just kind of buff with my MAC 217 just to make them disappear. But you get really good coverage with this concealer as well, actually. It's one of those ones that it's not, I don't ever see it kind of get enough love actually on YouTube or beauty blogs, and yeah, it's such a good concealer. And I will add some powder at the end just on any areas that need it. But I think what the key for me that kind of making a really beautiful wintry glow look, definitely kind of hitting on that English rose vibe, is using cream products to finish your base. So I'm a massive fan of the Stila convertible colour. These are really, really beautiful. And the shade I'm going to use today, this one is in Tulip, but also Poppy is another lovely colour if you want less of a bluey red. But I just think this makes skin look really healthy, really wide awake. And it does it. It's just like kind of health in a tin. So I'm going to use a little bit of that. I'm going to go back to the brush I used for my foundation. And I'm going to take a little bit at a time. It's always less is more with these kind of products. And I even like to knock a little bit off on the back of my hand first so that it's a little bit more muted. So I turn you that way a little bit, darling. And I'm kind of going above the apples and a little bit higher so that it brings that kind of health into the cheek. You can see the freckles coming through as well, which is really pretty. Janet's got gorgeous freckles, so I don't want to, that's why I've kind of gone for more sheer finishes as well, because it really shows off the skin. So I'm taking a little bit through the temples and I'm shearing out with a brush as I go. So just buffing out with a flat top kabuki, this is a Sigma one, just making sure there's no edges at all, but you should have that nice flush. It should look like you've been for a run outdoors and you've come back home into the warm and you're ready for a nice cup of tea. So another product I'm really excited to show you guys is by Becca, and it's their Shimmering Skin Perfector in the poured version. So it's like a cream. So if anyone remembers the Gemma Kid, I can't remember what they were called, but they were like a cream highlighter, you will absolutely love these. They're like a really lovely sheeny product. So I'm just going to add this to all the high points, and it's a little bit golden, but again, it's nice and wintry, so just tapping this over the cheeks. And it's such a pretty product, it just gives. So I turn you that way, darling, you'll see it gives a really nice glow, and you can see where it hits the cheekbone. So beautiful. So I'm going back to a MAC pencil brush. I'm using that same cream, and this is in Moonstone, by the way, guys. And I'm going to pop it right in the inside corner of the eye, just to really open up the eye and just give that lovely rosy kind of finish. So I'm just popping that cream in the middle, and I'm just going to use my finger just to kind of blend it out, really. So it's very, very subtle, but it just adds to the pretty glow. So you can just see now we've got a really gorgeous, beautiful, glowing skin. And the only place I want to add a tiny bit of powder to is just here and here. Everything else I'm going to leave. But obviously, guys, you can choose what to powder in terms of what you prefer not being glowing. So I'm going to take the H&M finishing powder, which I really, really like. This is one of my favourites videos it was in. And this brush by Shuamura. And I'm just going to tap a little bit just around these areas to set. Just to knock it back a little bit here, but again, I don't want to disturb any kind of the really nice glow that we've created, so I'm just using it in the areas that I don't want the shine. Keep a little bit down the nose and just a little bit in the T-zone. And then for lips, obviously you could use something like the Stila convertible lips to make your lip have like a little stain. The other two products I really like is, there's a NARS pencil, one of the satin lip pencils. Probably going to pronounce this horribly. Rikugian. I'll put it on the screen in case I have murdered the pronunciation of that one, as I often do. But I think I'm going to use a lipstick by Burberry, which actually is one of their Velvet Touch lipsticks. So it is a little bit, sorry, the Lip Velvets, which is a little bit on the matte side, but it's still very creamy, very comfortable. And I would say it almost has more of a satin finish, so in between a satin and a matte. And this shade is in Nude Rose, which I think is super pretty. So I'm just going to use that from the bullet. So if I turn you that way a bit down. So I'm literally just going in from the bullet. Again, I don't want this to be like a super defined lip. And if you just blot that for me, honey, do a good blot, that's it. And then I'm just going to go with my finger and just make sure that's all blended. And that's pretty much the finished look, guys. So like I said, it's quite a simple one today. I just thought it was nice to kind of show you guys a really pretty makeup that I think is quite universal suiting. So obviously you can darken the tones depending on your skin tone or lighten the tones. But generally going for a really rosy cheek just makes the skin look so healthy and awake. It's a good way of cheating lots of sleep if you're really tired. And I think it's great as well for like a nice wintry glow. So I hope you guys enjoy the look. Make sure you subscribe and I'll see you soon for more videos. Thanks very much, guys. Bye.